What is going on, everyone? Kieran back with another commentary, and today I want to bring you 3 really beneficial exercises that you're probably not doing. And this is a one-arm dumbbell row. Now, horizontal pulling is the most underused movement and movement pattern. So horizontally pulling balances out all the overhead movements that we tend to do, so i.e. snatches, jerks, wobbles and thrusters, and even dumbbell shoulder to overhead. Now, the one-arm dumbbell row helps build a ton of upper back strength, which also helps reduce the risk of injury towards the shoulders, overdevelopment in the anterior part of the shoulder, basically the front part of your shoulder. Now, if you're one of those people who have a seated desk job and is sat in front of a computer, it's more likely that your rhomboids and your middle and lower traps will lengthen throughout the day, which can cause you to have a more rounded posture, increasing the risk of impingement and bad movement patterns. So adding in a one-arm dumbbell row into your workouts will help wake up these muscles and stabilize your scapula. Now, with one of the key things that I always see with this exercises is that people don't actually set their shoulders back and rotate their scapula. A lot of people go really heavy, and you don't actually need to do that with this exercise. All you need to do, what I've just done there, is pull my shoulder blade, engage your scapula, and slowly pull with the elbow. So if you're one of these people that does do this exercise regularly and you can feel it on the front part of the arm, what you're actually doing is using your bicep. What we're trying to do is focus on the rhomboids and your upper and middle traps. So just take your time and just lead with your elbow, and that's a little tip that you can do towards this exercise. So this exercise you're about to see is an imbalance dumbbell and kettlebell shoulder press. So all you're going to need for this exercise is a kettlebell and a dumbbell. So creating an imbalance is an excellent method to correct and strengthen overall core strength whilst focusing on the unilateral movement. And it's also a great way to mix up your training and adding in different pieces of equipment that you wouldn't normally combine in the movement. So all I'm trying to do is basically engage my shoulder blades so my back is being pulled down and I'm using my shoulders and pressing with the dumbbell. And this is a really good way of, obviously, like I said, talking about all the benefits from this exercise. So here I've just got a 12.5 kilo dumbbell, which I'm pressing in my right arm. And I've got a 24 kilo kettlebell in my left arm, just balancing out my body that way. And you can see here, I'm really having to use my core and keep myself nice and stable, but it's also allowing me to kind of work my shoulder. And a great tip, if you do any sort of overhead work and you can really feel like a strain in your lower back, little tip, just bend your knees and squeeze your glutes, your bum, and that'll take all the pressure off your lower back, because what you're doing is overcompensating and you're creating an arch in your lower back. So there's a little tip for you. So the next exercise you're about to see, guys, is a single leg Romanian deadlift. Now, I see a load of people try to attempt this exercise, and I see a load of people load this exercise with weight. And to be honest, you don't need to. It's all about taking your time and try and work on your balance and your control with this exercise. So I very much recommend trying to do it body weight first before you attempt this. Now, we're focusing on the stretch of the hamstring and the carryover of all stabilizer muscles. So basically all the small muscles that are helping you intertwine and do this motion. And this is a great exercise to improve your deadlift. So if you're someone that obviously struggles with the connection to like their hamstrings and their glutes, this is a great exercise to obviously build up your hamstrings and also help with flexibility. So all I'm doing is just breaking at the hip and trying to keep my right leg as straight as possible. If your balance is poor like mine, you can just use a wall or some object like a broom and try and keep yourself up. But here, all I'm trying to do is keep a nice proud chest, trying to keep my back nice and tight. And like I said, breaking at the hips and then allowing my right leg to go backwards. So what I'm trying to do is get a good stretch on my left leg. So like I said, it's always better off to start doing kind of any exercise, especially this one, just with your body weight. And as you get more comfortable, then you can start using weight. But like I said, this really does help with ankle mobility. And it's all about a case of just taking your time and making sure you can master it and then progressing into the exercise. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this kind of voiceover, because I know I'm really enjoying it. I feel like I can give you a lot more proper information and you guys can obviously learn a ton. If I could ask you to do me a massive I can't talk. If I can ask you guys to do me a massive favor, if you could like this video and also subscribe to the channel, that would help out massively if you aren't already subscribed. If you guys are subscribed, what a bunch of legends, and thank you for tuning back into another exercise. So those are kind of my top kind of 3 exercises that can really help you in with regards to your training, whether that's CrossFit, bodybuilding. And guys, I totally forgot there is another exercise, so bear with me a second, we'll just run through this other one. So this is a great way to obviously work up your hamstrings and your glutes, but it's also a good way of being explosive. So what I've done is I've attached a really thin resistance band just to obviously trying to give me a little bit more acceleration. So kettlebell swings are a great way to load up your posterior chain, so everything from your back all the way down to the back side of your body basically, and it's a great way of obviously working on speed development and also explosive. So you don't really need to go with a big heavy band. I've just got a thin one, and all I'm trying to do is just be really explosive, so trying to make sure that my glutes are activating and my hamstrings. You tend to see a lot of people when they do kettlebell swings is that they use their shoulders to lift the weight, and what you want to do is focus on working on your glutes. The last portion of this voiceover is just going to be a little talk about a conditioning workout that you can do at home. Now, if you don't have an air bike, then what you can do is do single arm thrusters. That's what I did. So for 10 rounds, you're going to do 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. So you need to try and get 12 calories in 40 seconds. You then have a 20-second break. Then you need to do one arm devil press for 40 seconds, as many as you can, 20-second break, 200-meter run, and then rest for 1 minute. Like I said, if you do not have a bike, then you can do a single arm thruster. So this is a death bike, I like to call it. It literally just sucks the soul out of your body. And the last kind of exercise that I need to run through is a single arm devil press. So basically you need to go down to the floor like a burpee style, pressing with one arm on the weight, and then push your hips up in the air, and then push your hips forward to obviously get the swing, and that's basically a devil press. So like I said guys, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, please like the video and share it with any of your friends, and let's get on to the last little bit.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you, baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding me up. Play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mash me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Me up, drumming round in your red Ford, shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I
trapped inside this spell. Now I feel it, now I feel it. Your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel it.
Now I'm swallowed. Now I'm the fool while you're breaking rules. Dangerous path that I follow. Oh, go on, just do what you do. And it hurts as I bleed.